What's a good A/B test win rate? It's a nuanced question. So we audited 2,200 of our own tests, and depending on how you define a win, the answer can run between 19 and 61%. Let's walk through it. There's 4 ways you can define a win. The strictest being statistically significant. 19% of tests meet this threshold that the test version is better than the control statistically significantly. That's right where Optimizely, VWO, and Convert also land. Directional is 48%. That means it's ahead on the metric that you set out to improve. So conversion rate on transactions or leads, conversion rate. Raw winner, 51%. This is where it's won on a secondary metric, like a micro conversion or some other thing that the stakeholders think is important enough to call a test on. And then finally, decisive, 61%. This is at the test group level where you might have run an initial test. It lost, you found some learnings, you iterated into a winning test. It groups wins over wins plus losses and takes out inconclusive tests. So all of these stats are valid, they just tell a different story. Win rate by tactic. This is interesting information that came out of our 2,200 test audit. And some of this is due to sample size, but copy messaging, social proof, these are the most successful tests that we run at ConversionTeam. Trust signals, layout tweaks that aren't backed by actual data, either qualitative or quantitative, these don't work as well. And that has proven out over hundreds of clients. In between our different kinds of tests that you might run, the ones towards the top, I like to say are based on things that you've actually collected data on. So filtering, sorting, all the tests we run on that are based on actual user data that we collected over time. Same thing with personalization. You're personalizing based on something that you actually know about users. And then we get down into things like prominence and stuff that works, but doesn't work as often as nailing the value prop. If you look at industries, this is where you might be more into the sample size, but we found that sometimes it's easier to move the needle with lead gen in the beginning, publishing, and then you look at something like e-commerce, automotive and healthcare near the bottom. These are just kind of benchmarks, and I wouldn't let it discourage anyone from doing testing. Finally, by business model, lead generation in front here for reasons mentioned before, subscription, same kind of idea. E-commerce, a little lower, a little harder to move the needle, but still totally valid and oftentimes more impactful than some tests on other niches. And then SaaS sitting right with e-com there. So the one thing to take from this is that when someone says they have a win rate of X percent, 60, 70, whatever, it's all about the definition. And how many tests are in the sample? Without that, a win rate is just kind of marketing. The full definition of this page and links to the full article are below. Thank you.